Good day, everyone. It's Jennifer McPherson from Turnkey Travel, and I have another special guest with me today for another Explore the World coffee chat. And today, my special guest is Margarita Peloso from Azamara Cruises. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and I love your background. You're the outside of our ship, and I'm on the inside. So nice to be here, Jennifer.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So we're going to just have a little fun with a few questions to get to know you and Azamara a little bit better. And the first question that we'll start off with is what is one of your most favorite or earlier travel memories that you might have?
You know what? I remember as a kid, everybody was roller skating, and I'd say, "How come we can't go roller skating?" And my parents would say, "Well, we went to Europe." The fact of the matter is my dad is English and my mom is Spanish. So if we ever wanted to see family, we would have to go to Europe. And my dad was a tour guide in between terms at university. So he would always take us what he called culture vulturing. And we would go and see, the cathedrals and the water bridges in Toledo and all of those sorts of things, right? So that is, I think, my earliest travel experience. But yeah, I think that we started when I was maybe 6 years old. Doing these trips.
Oh, and that's wonderful because back then, I mean, Europe was definitely not as busy as it is now. So you got to go in and see some of those places before, all of the tourists started to come.
To be honest, it was before I was old enough to appreciate it. So, yeah, I just remember thinking this building is older than my country. So it was fun.
True.
Yeah.
True. So a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in the travel industry and with your current role with Azamara?
I started in travel more than I would like to say ago, but I finished university and couldn't get a job in my chosen profession. So thought I'll go and see the world, and I became a flight attendant. Total whim, total accidental, but it was a great experience. And then when I wasn't flying, because in the winter we do a lot of turnarounds, I ended up working for a ski tour operator, escorting trips to Quebec and Vermont. And then it just grew from there. I ended up going to Paramount Holidays, which was the first tour operator dealing, so everybody's now going, oh yeah, now we know how old you are. But it was the first tour operator in Canada to sell cruising. And so went on my first ship, which I absolutely loved the whole experience. And I was in my early 20s at the time. And so that whole, cruising is for the newlywed, overfed, or nearly dead. I was like, somebody got that wrong. It was so much fun. And then I never really turned back. I got my first job in sales with Air Canada Vacations. I was the cruise sales rep for all of Ontario. And I've been with Azamara now since December. So it's a fairly new position for me, but I love the brand. I love what it stands for, and I love the whole idea of getting into the heart of the destinations that we go to. And I think that's why we all travel anyway, right? So
yes. Well, that leads me into the next question, which is basically what is Azamara really known for?
I'd have to say destination immersion. So when you look at the size of our ships, we're small enough to get into these ports calls that the bigger ships just can't get into. In fact, when we go into Sevilla, we go up the Guadalquivir River and we dock right at the heart of the town. When we go to St. Petersburg, we go up the Neva River and we dock right beside the Hermitage. So a lot of the bigger ships just can't do that. So we use our ship as a small floating boutique hotel that allows you to get closer to the destination. So that's the first thing, I think, is the destination immersion is really key. The other things that we're known for is our incredibly attentive staff and friendly staff. So we're always ranked quite high with the staff reviews and our inclusion. So your gratuities are included. You have beverages included as well as meals. So those sorts of things, I think, really do make us stand apart. And I love our hashtag Explore Further. So so that's a real thing. So yeah,
for sure. And I agree with you that immersive experience is definitely something when people want to combine that with cruising. Azamara definitely is a great fit there. How does your company?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, when I
No, no, go ahead.
started, one of the sales managers said, if you can think of us as a land-based vacation company that has a floating boutique hotel that takes you to those
Hmm.
destinations. So rather than
Hmm.
a specific cruise line. I love that about it. So
Yeah, yeah, I know. I would say that too. I mean, some people cruise because they want the amenities of the ship, which Azamara does have, but getting in there and being able to enjoy those longer stays in ports and such are key. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
How do you or Azamara see the travel rebound happening for you guys? Because the world is starting to open up.
Oh, it is definitely starting to open up. So we, of course, were so happy to have launched that we are coming back with the Quest starting August 28th,
Hmm.
doing 7-day Greece intensive itineraries. So that is definitely a thing. I think what we're finding the most, though, interestingly enough, is as soon as people are vaccinated, they are immediately thinking, I have a bucket list. I'm not going to do my 7-day beach vacation because I've always talked about going to South Africa. So we're
Yeah.
finding people are going further afield. They're going longer because they've been locked up for a year and they're saying, need to get out and explore. And the other nice thing about Azamara is we can do back to back, which are different itineraries. So, for instance, South America, you can go from Miami to Lima, Lima down to Buenos Aires back to Rio. So people are doing back to backs. So
Mm.
that is something that we are seeing quite a bit of as well. So yeah.
Yes, yeah, the terms, I love the terms right now, revenge travel or splurge travel, because
Mm,
people do, they want to come back with a bang and really um, indulge in some of those more exotic destinations or a more premium experience than just say a resort vacation. So that's great. That's
yeah.
great. What is Azamara doing in regards to COVID and making sure that their staff and their ships are ready?
Okay. So as of today,
Yeah,
um,
I know.
it is interesting because we've all heard the term. It's a fluid situation.
Hmm.
Right now, it's all about education. It's all about prevention. So we are taking steps similar to what other brands out there are doing, but we're very much listening to the CDC, the government officials of the countries that we're going into, and CLIA. So what we really want to do, and of course medical professionals, when you come back sailing with Azamara, all the crew and guests will be vaccinated. Of
Hmm.
course, we're taking steps to make sure that we've got improved ventilation, improved sanitation. All the crew will be updated on exactly the cleaning procedures that will have to be mandated. At the time, right now, we are doing shore excursions, so getting off the ship and continuing with that. But again, those things, those little details we're expecting them to change and evolve as we get closer to our sail date. Um,
Hmm.
but it is. I think the big issue right now, and it's a very much a hot topic, is vaccine requirements. And I'm very fortunate being in Canada that we are almost everybody I've spoken to is completely on board with that. So they're going, I would like to travel when I know that I'm safe to do so. The other thing that I think that is great with Azamara is we have this cruise with confidence. So you can book a cruise
Hmm.
right up until the end of July, and if for whatever reason, you know, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but they're talking about this
Yeah.
fourth or eighth, and that happens, and you say, okay, I'm just not comfortable traveling anymore. You can cancel up to 48 hours prior to departure,
Yeah.
and rebook and get 100% of the monies paid in a future cruise credit. So those sorts of things, you don't see us doing those every day, but we're really that. It speaks to what it is. It's cruising with confidence. We don't want you to come
Exactly.
if you're not comfortable and not going to enjoy it. So come when you're ready. So, but we do have a lot of people booking right now, so I think people are ready.
Yeah, I know. I know everybody's itching for
Yeah.
sure. Do you have a favorite itinerary?
Well, I have a couple. I mean, one of my favorite itineraries, so my all-time favorite destination is Italy. So we have an itinerary in August of 2022, which does Genoa, Italy. It overnights in Livorno, which is the gateway, so to speak, to Florence. Then it goes all the way
Mm-hmm.
around the boot to Kotor, and then it overnights in Venice. So ending in one of the most romantic cities in the world, and we use our ship
Mm-hmm.
as a hotel for those last 2 days in Venice. So I think that would be my go-to. Although the world's a big place, right? So every time I think
Yeah.
about it, it's like my next stop will be, and it changes every day. I'm a fluid motion, so it's constantly
Yes.
changing. But we do go to all
Yes.
7 continents, so it's hard to choose.
Well, that's it. And like you said, you can piece together different back-to-back cruises. So really, any of your destinations, you can just choose and keep going around and get off and do a smaller cruise too at any time. So
Yeah,
that's excellent.
yeah.
What there's a lot of talk always about different niches, whether it's wellness or culinary. What niches do you see fitting well with Azamara?
You know what? We have to go with. We are focusing on the traveler, the person who wants to explore. And I think that's why
Hmm.
explore further is a big thing. Um, we don't have any children's programs on board either, right? So we're really focused more towards the empty nesters, and very much an English speaking environment on board the ship too. So that communication, you're developing friendships very quickly because you have like-minded languages, like-minded itineraries, and it really is about the land experience. So that would be, I think, the niche that we're looking at is people who are really looking to get out, see something different that they haven't done before, and just diving into the culture. Probably real food lovers. We've got Perry Golf, so we're really
Hmm.
attracted to the golfers. We're now doing wine and culture cruises as well, so we're sort of diving into that. And of course, we've got our virtual wine tasting that's happening later this month, and so we're really focusing on that as well. So
Yes, yes, excellent. And I'll put a note about the Azamara wine tasting in the comments for the YouTube so people can see a little bit more about that. That's excellent.
yeah,
And I mean, speaking of food, I like this question because it kind of gives a way of people to phrase what they think. If Azamara was a food, which food would you best be as far as your brand goes?
okay, well, um, because we are destination immersive, I would have to say it would depend on where you went. But I do sort of think, if you're going to Italy, we are homemade pasta, the freshest ingredients, Tuscan olive oil. If you are going to France, we are fresh bread, jambon et fromage. If you're going to Scotland, we've got to be scones and strawberry jam and clotted cream. So there's those sorts of. It's a tough question, but I would have to think we are a buffet. So very very many different destinations and very many different options to choose from that we couldn't just be one.
Right. You're sort of like that international cafe where you can go in and get a nice something, right? To go
Yeah.
with
And the
a
fun
glass of
thing is
wine or
when we go to destinations, the food we serve on board is quite authentic to that area, right? So I have
Mhm.
talked to people who have said, the lamb on board is the absolute best. So you're thinking
Mm.
there's got to be a Greek influence going on there. Um, the curry, one of my colleagues said the curry he had on board was by far the best thing that he'd ever had. So there's an Indian influence there as well. So we do try to make the food on board our ship authentic to the destinations that we're traveling to. So
And that's great. And that's great because people they want that, as you said, immersive experience. And so to be able to dine with the different foods of the destination is
yeah,
key. So wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. And as we come out of all of this and see the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later, what would be the one place that you could travel to right now if you could?
It's got to be Greece. And I'm not just saying. So my daughter graduated from university over a year ago, and her big thing was, "You've been to Greece and you've never taken us there." And I said, "Oh well, then we should go." So we canceled it in May last year. We canceled it. We were supposed to be just coming home last weekend. So yeah, no, I'm dying to see the Santorini sunset again. I loved the whole market area in Athens. Mykonos, like the nightlife there is phenomenal. So I think Greece right now is, and I love olives, ouzo, tzatziki, all of that stuff, right? So we always bring it back to food, sadly enough, but it is that experience. But just, I remember being in Fira, overlooking the caldera and just watching that sunset go down, and it's breathtaking, really is.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah.
So yes, sounds like you have a serious rain check that you are owed
I know.
a nice Greek tour and cruise for sure. Sounds like that's and thankfully, because it is opening up, you can probably get there sooner rather than later.
Yes,
in the coming months.
So yeah, because I do check it fairly regularly to find out when we can go back, and double vaccinations for Canadians are now, so that's good. So
yeah,
it's good to get on
wonderful.
board. Yeah.
Well, great. Well, thanks very much for having this little chat with me. I really appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully everybody's had a little glimpse into the beautiful benefits and amenities of Azamara Cruising and the destinations. And like you said, it's really all about exploring further. So if anyone would like to know a little bit more about Azamara, you can contact your travel advisor. We'd be happy to give you a bit more information. And we will have an upcoming wine tasting as well for some French wines that I'll put the content into the notes. So thanks very much for joining me again today, Margarita, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.